I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. At last Wednesday's Senate Finance Committee hearing, Chairman Ron Wyden gave opening remarks about the current housing crisis. He blamed the crisis on private equity firms and red tape zoning rules. Wyden concluded his remarks by calling for more affordable housing. Here's more from the Oregon Democrat.
The Finance Committee meets this morning to discuss housing. This hearing comes at a time when Americans are getting clobbered by climbing rents and home prices, key drivers of inflation. Data released last week showed that rents increased in June at the fastest rate since 1986. Buying a home is getting more expensive. Many young people who have modest incomes or big student loan debt feel like the dream of home ownership has slipped out of their reach. The root cause is the United States isn't building enough housing. It's been that way for decades, and the shortage is affecting citizens and cities all over America. For example, my hometown of Portland has skyrocketing rents and low supply of suitable housing. It's also an issue, though, in Central Oregon, Southern Oregon, and Eastern Oregon, where they can't build enough housing fast enough to keep up with demand. I'd be willing to bet that every member on this panel is hearing the same story. Now, we're going to talk about a number of issues this morning, and I'd just like to raise a relatively new issue that deserves real scrutiny, and that is private equity firms and sophisticated companies armed with terabytes of housing data are hoovering up properties nationwide. They're jacking up rents. They're using algorithms to outbid Americans who just want to own a home. Why do these big guys want to get into our housing market? Because they're upward of 330 million in the country, and there aren't enough homes for all of them. Huge demand, limited supply. Typically, people on a budget are going to come out on the losing end of that sort of thing every time. The cost of housing is also pushed up by the snarls of state and local red tape. Zoning rules too often ban the kind of construction that's most needed and perpetuate segregation. In some places, it can take years of tireless work to get a ruling on permits and approval for new construction, and then you have the big upfront costs. Fortunately, my home state of Oregon is one of the states that's stepping up on this issue. Others need to do the same. It's also a fact that when housing costs go up, homelessness goes up. You can save a lot of individual suffering and taxpayer dollars tomorrow by building more affordable housing today. The bottom line when it comes to housing, the U.S. needs to build and then build some more. The Finance Committee plays an important role in helping get shovels in the ground. That's because much of housing policy deals with tax policy. I proposed the DASH Act, the Decent, Affordable, and Safe Housing for All bill. It's about getting help to the most vulnerable, children and families experiencing homelessness. It would also create a credit for more affordable rental units, boost LIHTC, low-income housing, and encourage the construction of more middle-income housing without taking a single penny away from LIHTC. Local officials in Oregon tell me they badly need more incentives to build housing for middle-class families. The Finance Committee has had a bipartisan coalition working on important housing issues for a long time. Senator Campbell, very important. Dr. I think she'd agree, good lots more to do. There's another Improvement Act, which I'm proud to sponsor with Senator Young and one of our colleagues who's here, Senator Portman. That bill adds even more punch and even more flexibility to build even more housing, an estimated 2 million new units nationwide. Senator Cardin and Senator Portman have also proposed an important bill called the Neighborhood Homes Investment Act that'd be a big magnet for new affordable housing in struggling communities that very much need it. And finally, thanks to my seatmate here, Senator Crapo, we continue our bipartisan work with Senator Leahy, Senator Collins, and I authoring the Lifeline Act. Our bill creates more flexibility for states, local governments, and tribes to use existing funds to get more affordable housing built. With costs where they are today, the alternative is a whole lot of unfinished construction and plans that stall out before they get out of the gate. Finally, while there's bipartisan interest in getting this approach done legislatively, Treasury also has substantial authority to accomplish a lot of what we're seeking to do on their own with rule changes. So today we're going to make sure that the direction is getting the Congress and the Treasury Department to move more quickly together, and getting it done will provide important progress, again, in ensuring access to more opportunities for affordable housing. Lots of ideas to talk about. Every member of this committee has an interest in this, so I hope we won't be here eating our cereal tomorrow morning in the finance room, but I can tell you a lot of my colleagues have lots of interest. Look forward to our discussion, and I want to thank again Senator Crapo for his good work on another important issue.